The fighting in this stage of war between Russia and Ukraine has shifted toward an exchange of long-range artillery and missile strikes. But despite Javelins being a shorter-range weapon, its maximum range is about 2.5 miles. Soldiers here near Russian-occupied Izium in northeastern Ukraine still consider Javelins an effective way to inflict punishing damage on Russian troops. Lieutenant Alexander Sazovsky referred to the weapons as his good buddies. He said the Ukrainian and Russian troops in many places are dug in on front lines just a few miles apart, within Javelin range. We keep burning their vehicles, and that means that a few more houses in Ukraine will stay intact, he said. For years, as Ukraine was locked in a simmering conflict with Russian-led separatist forces in eastern Ukraine, Javelin anti-tank missiles were the premier military aid from Washington, a defensive, lethal weapon intended to deter greater hostilities. Then, they were kept away from the front line and never used outside of training environments, but already Javelin had become part of the lexicon in Ukraine as a symbol of Western support. After Russian tanks actually crossed a border on February 24, and some were immediately wiped out with Javelins, the cult around the weapons grew. Javelin, or Javelina for a girl, is now a common name for pets. Local department stores sell plush Javelin missile toys for children. An internet meme of religious figures cradling javelins became so popular that its creator started a charity organization selling t-shirts with the images. Ukraine's defense minister recently wore a Saint Javelin patch on his bulletproof vest. In Sumy, the 93rd Brigade was victorious, expelling Russian forces from the region. In the more than 3 months that they've been posted near Izium, the front line hasn't budged much, though Dmytryk said his unit advanced about 5 miles along one part of it during that time. The road to Ukraine's current trench positions is littered with destroyed Russian vehicles. The tanks the Russians are using now are older, Dmytryk said, because Javelins and similar weapons have depleted their arsenal. Even the crews operating the tanks now are less experienced, often not even managing to fire on Dmytryk's forces before they're taken out, he said, because they didn't properly load the ammunition. The Ukrainian military basically destroyed their newest tanks and infantry combat vehicles in the first wave of fighting, Dmytryk said. The last vehicle of theirs we damaged just a couple days ago was a BMP-1, which is one of their oldest models. They would have had that one sitting in storage for a long time, so they're really emptying out their stocks right now. Washington has provided Ukraine with more than 5,000 Javelins as part of its more than $8 billion in material aid since the start of the Biden administration. In the first days of the war, Javelins were passed around to anyone who spotted an enemy column, sometimes with on-the-spot instruction. Before the Russian invasion, some Ukrainian servicemembers had attended special sessions with US trainers on how to use the Javelin. But it was nowhere near enough to defend against Russian tank convoys once the war started. Using Javelins and other anti-tank missiles, such as British NLAW and the Ukrainian-made Stugna P, now requires more of a hunt. The 93rd Brigade uses drones to look for targets. Then small teams, usually about 2 people, move into firing range to take it out with Javelins or NLAWs, which are considered lighter and easier to use, but reserved for shorter distances. Members of the 93rd Brigade have also come up with creative ways to reach the Russians. Dmytryk said his soldiers will sometimes attach a present, an anti-tank grenade, to a drone that will then drop it on any enemy vehicle. We can see it by their equipment that they are lacking some, Sazovsky said. We learn that from intercepted messages or some stories. We see they are panicking, that their reconnaissance is getting weaker. So we are hopeful. And we'll be doing everything we can to kick them out of here. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe. Also, if you want to support Warthog Defense, please become our member and get early access to new videos, exclusive members-only videos, and become administrator in comment section. The membership link is in the description.
Rescues every day. We had a guy last week at 6 rescues in 6 days. You know, he's doing the job every day.